So it's been about 3 weeks since I talked about the Lakers, did a video on Dwight, and I don't know, I guess just a bit of a state of the team address. It's been almost a month since I talked about him. I think they just had their biggest win of the season going into Denver after getting blown out by the Mavs, and if you searched not even that hard on Twitter, you could find some Lakers hate between strength of schedule and some of the advanced stats dipped down a little bit the past 7 or 8 games or so, maybe a little slower on defense, whatever else. But last night, Anthony Davis, I think, to me, inserted himself as the leader of the Defensive Player of the Year race. Before last night's game, I was still like AD and Gobert neck and neck, but I do think AD is a little ahead of him now. I mean, he stopped Jokic on, I think it was like 2 or 3 post-ups. He had a big defensive play on Jamal Murray on the last real possession of the game. And, he was great. And defensively, this team has still really held up this season between AD and his depoy case, and Dwight has been good. And I don't think there's a glaring weakness on this team defensively right now. I think Kuzma's having a little bit of a tough time, and I'll get into Kuzma in a little bit, but still, AD, Dwight, LeBron being a little better, Vogel is the coach. We've seen him coach good defensive teams in the past. It's working. And I think another thing about the game last night against the Nuggets that was very telling is that AD was at center late in the game. And if you look at the lineup numbers this season, AD has mainly been playing next to a center. It's been pretty much fine. These guys have the best record in the league, I'm pretty sure, unless the Bucks are right there, whatever. But Vogel did go to it late, and it definitely worked, as Denver pretty much just couldn't score, is the best way to put it. And, around him it was LeBron, Caruso, KCP, Danny Green, and there's just a lot of switchability there. I mean, KCP, when he's disciplined, is a good defender. Caruso, you don't think of him as an awesome defensive player, but I think he might be a little underrated there. Also, he's 6'5" with a 6'6" wingspan, so that's good enough to be a defender. Danny Green is, of course, good, and then LeBron's been better this season. So it's like, that's a tough lineup to score on when Anthony Davis is going to be this black hole where the paint is just a no-fly zone. And, Bradley has been hurt, and Avery has definitely been better than he was for the Clippers. So that's another guy you could insert in there. If, let's say, in that specific game, let's say Jamal Murray was really giving you trouble late, then maybe you could have Bradley in there, because he could just cause a little bit more trouble for Murray than, maybe KCP or something. But last night they were totally fine. So I think that's still the most important thing with this Lakers team, is just the versatility that they have defensively, assuming AD is going to keep on being this good, and I don't see a reason as to why he can't be. Now, speaking of that size, if we want to get a little nitpicky, I think the Lakers could be a bit better of a rebounding team. They're actually 19th in defensive rebounding percentage this season, which I think is a little weird with a team that has Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, and LeBron James on it. Now, their offensive rebounding has been quite a bit better, but I don't know. Should I care about that? Should I not? I don't want to go too hard into the negatives because this team is so good, but I think it's something to kind of care about. And I would love to look up their defensive rebounding percentage and stuff when AD is at center, but he's played so few minutes at the 5 this year because they just haven't needed him to, that I feel like those numbers wouldn't really be worth caring about like that. If we look at some other numbers that could or could not be worth caring about, there is LeBron's on and off stuff. They're better with him than without him, which I don't think is too surprising. I don't know how much I really care about that, because I just feel like, number one, LeBron's still going to play 35, 36 minutes a game. 2, again, they're the 1 seed in the West. 3, they got AD, who can play without LeBron. And 4, Vogel knows what he's doing. This is not like with Ty Lue or David Blatt, where the team didn't have an offense. Even if it's just as simple as an AD post-up when LeBron's not in the game or whatever. I also think there's potential between Rondo and AD to do some stuff. There's a case, you can make a case that Rondo has sucked for like 7 years now. I get it. But even so, I think if you need a ball handler in there when LeBron's not in, and Rondo is probably your guy. I mean, Caruso can go off the dribble a little bit. So yeah, I guess now I can get to Kuzma. With Kuzma right now, I think some of it is the threes aren't going in. Some of it is, I think he just reads the game at a step slower than a lot of other guys on this team. And that's on both sides of the floor, because he has been late on some defensive rotations and whatever else. But at the same time, he's had moments of being good defensively last season when they finally stopped having him defend centers and all that. And as far as his offense is concerned, I mean, his potential to be an off-ball scorer to me is still there. Now, is there a chance he's just actually not that good of a shooter? I don't know. I mean, he was good in his rookie season. 30% on 6 a game last year, occasionally hot, occasionally cold. This year it hasn't been too hot out of the gates. In college, he was not that good of a three-point shooter. So, yeah, there's evidence to suggest that Kuzma's rookie season was a bit of an aberration when it came to his shooting. But at the same time, he's confident. His form looks good. And while he hasn't attempted a super amount of free throws in his NBA career, he has been over 70%. So I guess his shooting is just a wait and see. But as far as the other things, whether it's occasionally taking some mid-ranger that's not great or just looking a little lost or slow on defense, they just need him to be better. It's the only way to put it. I mean, we were talking about this guy as the potential third scorer of this team because I don't really think anybody else can do it like that. I mean, Kuzma, look, the dude put up 19 a game last season, and we can argue about how good he actually is or isn't, but you'd think with just the amount of open shots that he can get on this team with AD and LeBron that he can be a real option. And he has had some games. He did have a big 20-point game against someone where he had some huge shots. He was also 4 for 4 from 3 against the Pelicans. That was a 4-point win, so he has had moments, but he's also, his last 3 games have not been very good, and he's had a couple of clunkers here and there, so I think it's just going to be a process with him where sometimes he looks great, sometimes he looks bad, and hopefully by the time the playoffs roll around, he's just got his place on this team figured out. I do think Vogel could help him out with running some more off-ball things. I mean, while giving the ball to LeBron is the best play in the NBA, there are definitely times when the offense goes to a standstill and it's LeBron dribbling around and he either hoists up a 3 or he he's just a little too lackadaisical and everybody's just standing around watching him. And I don't think that's great for Kuzma. Now, I did see one particular play where Rondo had the ball and Kuzma cut off the ball. He missed the layup, but it was a nice little play where you think, okay, there's some more potential with that sort of thing. Now, there have also been some plays where he has attempted to take it off the dribble himself, and okay, probably don't want to do that kind of at all, especially when the games are really, really mattering. So again, it's just going to be a process with him. As far as any moves that the Lakers can make, I mean, I'm pretty sure they can't trade their pick this year because of the Stepien rule, which means they're not going to be able to trade any firsts for kind of a while. Like, their draft pick situation actually doesn't look as horrible as you might think it would be after getting Anthony Davis, but they still can't really trade them. They can trade some seconds, which, okay, maybe not. Could get you something. In terms of actual assets, I mean, they could match salaries. Like if they put JaVale and KCP's contracts together, then they could pair those up with like a second round pick or 2 and get maybe some okay 3-and-D guy, but part of me thinks they're kind of committed to seeing if KCP can really help them, which I know terrifies the hell out of every Lakers fan in existence, but I don't know, it does seem like that he is like kind of their guy a little bit. I mean, look, the guy has started 11 games, he's played 24 minutes a game, and for what it's worth, his percentages as of right now are pretty good. Besides that, I mean, I don't know, I feel like this is kind of the team. I guess if we're hoping for Some buyout dudes, I don't know. I mean, Tristan Thompson is the one buyout guy that I immediately think of, but I don't think they really need him. Of course, there is still the Iguodala stuff, and I don't really know how they get to the salaries with him unless it is trading KCP, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, for as much as I love Iguodala, it's like, at what point is assuming that he's just going to be fine for the playoffs gonna come back to kill you, especially when he hasn't played for this whole season, and he's probably not going to start playing like next week. So yeah, that's about it. The Lakers are, they're good. That's the only way to put it.